picking up where we were earlier, let's go around here and see some interesting features we have. So first of all, we have this big ring over here, and this is a very complex n-gon. You can always model it in a way where you can split it, but I'm going to use it as it is currently. And what I'm going to do is allow this to take some of these roundings with it. So I'm going to go and grow the selection a few times. And I'm going to grow the selection until it touches this, because I'm going to cut these separately. And you can see that we have an interesting piece over here. Now, because this is quite long and it may introduce some sort of distortion, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my frontal projection method. So go to your top view, press S to bring it in, and because it's not yellow, I know that it's the other camera. So bottom, top, press S again, and here it is. Again, we can flip it later, but anyhow, projection, frontal, and there it is. Now, let's go and do the same for the bottom. So let's flip the selection this time. Press OK, change the camera, bottom, press S, and let's do another frontal, and since it's already selected, just move it up. And you can see everything looks really nice. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is select the two main polygons, shift-click to select them, convert them to a point selection, add my pins, make sure that the islands are selected, so double-click and shift-double-click. And with that, let's go to Relax UV, pinpoint selection, no realigning, apply, and there you go. You get that little relaxation over here, and everything is really nice. Clear these, move tool, move them out and hide. Select it, go back to the perspective view, and let's see what else we have here. Let me make this a bit smaller, and let's go and get this little part here. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to change this to add, so I get that one on the bottom. You can see it's getting the bottom one, and I'm going to go and loop selection the in between. Stop at selections is selected, so that's all nice. And let me grab some of these rounded polygons, or the whole thing. If I get the whole thing, if I get everything up to here, I am going to get severe distortion, because this is a very odd shape. So let me just go and get some of these polygons. So let's grow the selection a couple of times. I think that's good enough. And let's see what this does with no pinpoints and LSCM. And let me put the auto realign so it moves. Good. And you can see that that's not at all bad. Make sure just by selecting one edge that the island is aligned, and it was. Imagine that. Let's move it to the left, and let's go and hide this selection. So now you see that these parts are slowly breaking up, and we're getting interesting things going. So let's go and take this, and I'm going to get the top part of the whole thing. So I'm going to go and shift click on this, and then go and use my loop selection and take this, and I'm going to add this, shift click to add this, and then I'm going to use, and it added it from both sides, the fill selection, shift click, and there you have this one. Let's go and do that. Not at all bad. And let's just flip the selection. Let's go and flip it and do the same for the bottom. So we have these two. And again, if I want to straighten them or do something like that, I can do some pinning and all that. But I don't think I need to do anything in this particular case. Anyhow, just because this is a tutorial, I want to show you what you could do to make them straight. Now, they're not really straight, but in case you want to do your textures in Photoshop, for example, and you want to draw straight lines here, I don't know, maybe scratches or put a logo across this and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is select this bottom edge here, the whole thing. Now, if you want to see it in your 3D view, you can always go to your 3D view and say, hey, here it is. I can go and grab this. So I can press Command Shift click here, and it will do the whole loop. Now, let me go and add the selection on top as well. So I have them both selected, so I don't have to do the same thing twice. And I'm going to straighten these. Now that they're straight, I can make them points. I can make them pins. I can then go and select both islands. So shift double click and shift double click. And now I can do an LSCM with pinpoint. So you can do these combinations in order. Let me clear the points, and you can see that it allows you to align things incredibly easy. So shift double click, and let's move it out of the way, and let's go and hide that and see what's happening. Let me make this smaller, and let's go and detach more things. Right, let me go and detach all this. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to select the top. I'm going to add the bottom. I always forget what the last one was, so forgive me for that. I'm going to go and use a loop selection to select all the in-between points, and then the fill selection to select this. Now, if I want to grow it so I can incorporate some of these, I can do that. Let me do that. And then let's go and do a no pins, auto realign, and there you go. And always give the rectangularize a test just in case these are rectangles, and they are. Again, imagine that. Let's move it out of the way and let's go and hide it. Excellent. So what else do we have here? We have these very long components. I can go and detach them just to get them out of the way. Select the bottom as well. Let's go all the way here. And I'm going to go to this point, and I'm going to shift click and then mirror the selection, then loop selection, shift click, mirror selection. So there you go. I've got both. And let's go and do an LSTM. And here they are, both pieces. I think they're reversed, but I don't really mind. And they look good enough. Excellent. So let's go and hide the selected, and then let's go here and let's go and select this part as well. So fill selection, and we have the whole thing. And is this a rectangle? Let's click on this. It is. Move it up, do an LSTM first, then rectangles, and then mirror U, and that's done as well. Hide selected. A few to go, but you see there's some sort of repetitive nature to this, but that is the nature of UVs in general. Now we are going to have a bit of difficulty because these twist around quite a bit. So again, it's up to us to make a choice on which parts we are going to detach. I'm going to start with an easier one. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go and grab with my live selection tool, just do this. So I got that, and let's start growing this and see where it takes us. So grow selection a few times. I'm going to grab all these. I think that's good enough. Let's mirror the selection so we have this whole thing. And let's see what this does if I do an LSTM. And you know something? I'm happy with that. Sometimes things are simpler than they seem. Good. Let's go and do pretty much the same over here. Let's go closer. Let's grow the selection until we grab everything. Grow it one more time. I want to grab the other ones. Now, I don't want these. I'm going to leave them with the other part. So select your live selection and command to remove them. Unfortunately, we don't have a remove mirror selection. There's nothing we can do to mirror that over. That's good enough. LSTM, again, it's a perfect relaxation. So let's hide the selected and move on. I think I saw something in here. There you go. Let's take this. So full selection, grab this, apply this. Again, done. So hide selected. And there we go. So now let's start picking this. I hate these flashes, so let me just switch tool. And let's go and let's take the top. Let's take this top part. And I'm going to incorporate part of these. So everything all the way to here. So first of all, let me grow it once. Grow selection to pick up that fillet. And then let me get my live selection tool and shift drag to select that. Good. I'm going to leave these for the sides. I'm going to pick up these ones. Now be careful when you're selecting with these angles, because if you click and drag this, you may select something else. Sometimes what I like to do is put this over a gap. So shift drag. So this is a gap, this is the background, and this will allow us to select things a bit more safely. So that looks good. Let me come all the way around here, and let's go all the way around here. I think that's good enough for this part. I'm going to unwrap this separately from the inside. So let's quickly go and do this. You can see it unwraps really nicely. Let's mirror this. Let's go and flip our selection. Okay, let's do this again. Apply. Let's mirror it. And you can see that it needs some alignment. So select one edge, align, and if you want to rotate this, just go to your tool here and rotate it and press Shift to quantize it, and everything is nice. Let's just make them symmetrical because it looks better. Good. So now I'm going to use my live selection, Shift double click, move these with my move tool out of the way and hide selected. I'm going to go and use my fill selection directly on this. I need to do my frontal projection, so make sure this is maximized. Let's do the frontal projection. Good. Now I'm going to flip it and do the frontal projection. Excellent. And I'm going to Shift double click both of these, and I'm going to go and do a relaxation. Apply it, and you can see that that's not bad. I don't need to do anything else other than align them. So let me align this and align that. And I'm going to do this, and then we are going to finish off this video and continue with the third video where we're going to unwrap all the rest. So I'm going to use my fill selection directly, go to LSEM, auto realign, apply, and just mirror it, and that's good to go as well. Hide selected. So you can see what the routine is. You just break this apart into different bits and pieces, and depending on the shape they have, the kind of rounding, and the choice of what you want to sacrifice to make this the best possible UV unwrap, you just move on, as we will in the next video.